Welcome to the channel, everybody. My name is Ryan, and this is Unreal World, and we are back with our Spirit Quest, Resurrected. We are up north here in the Koivula culture. As you can see, we're smack dab in the yellow zone. Now, that is fine. We're up here hoping to get some trading done, and also maybe some quests, too. Now, I've come down to this area, so this is where our current shelter is at. We got a whole bunch of meat and everything here. But this location is where I want to set up my very first base. So I'm going to be building a cabin in this spot, and maybe down the road, once we hire some help, I'll show you this location again. If you're just new, I did show this one off in the last episode, so check the link to the playlist in the description if you'd like to start off the series fresh. But it's a pretty cool little spot. It's a little clearing in the woods, and I'm excited to get building there. But first things first, like I said, we're up here in the civilized areas, and I did bring a whole bunch of meat with me. I've got some furs and stuff, so I'm looking to do a little trading. Let's greet our friend here. All right. Now, once I do get fairly wealthy with meat and stuff like that, like we are now, I've just, in fact, in the last episode, we got back-to-back elk kills, so I've got a whole bunch of meat. But one thing I like to do is give food. I give little presents and stuff. Hey, it is Christmas right now, right? So we're going to be handing out some meat. I have something for this gentleman here, and I'm just going to give him one little slice. Doesn't have to be anything good, but they're happy, it makes them happy. Everybody likes getting a present. And of course, that just kind of gets us in good with the villagers here and stuff. Now, we've come up north looking for, ooh, there's some armor right there. You see that mail hauberk? Interested in that, but I don't think I'm going to grab it yet. There's a few things I'd like to pick up before we start arming ourselves with like armor and things like that. The fine hunting knife is actually, that's catching my eye right there. Yeah, I definitely want to get that too. Man, this village has got some good stuff in it. Now, one thing I do need to do real quick, I forgot to check. I want to see if they have any dogs for sale. No, I think we already bought the dog from this guy. So I've got one dog with me. Little sweetie right here. Hello, sweetie. There she is. She's probably starving. Yep, she's starved. But I'm going to get a few more dogs. They are just really great to have around for defense and stuff like that. And since I do like to travel the world map quite a bit, I encounter robbers, unfortunately, on occasion. I think we've encountered robbers twice, too, already in this playthrough. We've gotten really lucky, though, because I was able to just outrun them and escape as opposed to, like, fighting them. But if I have 3 or 4 dogs around me, I'll feel so much more confident, not worried about it. Plus, if we come across any bears, I will be willing to attack a bear too, as long as we got dogs. I don't attack bears or wolves alone, but with dogs, it's a little bit easier. So now we're here. Let's talk to this gentleman. Okay, it's always very important, if you're trying to get the questing done in this game, it's important to talk to the villagers when you come into a new village, because the first one you see will offer you the quest. They'll tell you where the quest giver is and tell you how to what their name is, where they're located. But like I say, for now, I'm just trying to give out some items and stuff, so let's deliver a little food to this gentleman. There we go. You're welcome. All right, and I'm going to zoom out here, because as I've said in previous episodes, it's good if you're playing this game on your own, try and get comfortable with playing at the farthest level of zoom out that you can get, just because that increases your visibility, especially when you're hunting. It's so important to be able to see the entire map when you're trying to hunt an animal. But and again, in the village, it's not so important, but I just like to get used to it, get my eyes adjusted to the size of things. You will see me zoom in a lot just for you guys' sake, the viewer's sake, because it's a little bit easier to see the details of what's going on here when we're zoomed in. But anyway, so I'm going to search this area for any interesting axes. Now, the reason I'm looking for an axe is because there are a few different kinds of axes in the game. Right now, I currently have a hand axe. You can see there it is. But the hand axe is not the greatest for assembling a cabin. There's a couple different axes we want. One is the broad axe, and another is a carving axe. So if I could get my hands on a couple of specialized tools, that would make our life a lot easier once we get to the cabin building stage. And for anybody out there who's played the Unreal World, you'll know that building a cabin is a very long and laborious process. It does take a lot of time. So any advantage you can give yourself, like having the proper tools, is important. Now, I just noticed there's a blacksmith over here too. Let's talk to this guy. Great. Okay. Metalworks for free. I would like to order some. Oh, good. So he does produce masterwork quality goods. That's pretty cool. Let's see what kind of axes he can make. I'd like to. Okay, cool. So he's got a carving axe, a splitting axe, a woodsman's axe, or the broad axe. Huge. Those are huge. I think I'm going to put in an order for the broad axe. And it takes him 2 weeks, because he's making it from scratch. He doesn't just have these laying around, which is totally fine. And I'm going to say it's a deal. We don't pay him until he's done, so I don't have to worry about, giving him anything just yet. But now if we go to the world map, it's hard to see because I've got a mark. I've got an X on top of it, but there is a white marker here, which is going to tell me how long we place the order. You can see it says Koivula Village at such and such Oachwild blacksmith broad axe order placed today. So again, it doesn't give you a countdown, it counts up. So it'll say placed 2 days ago or 3 days ago as time passes. You just have to remember it takes 2 weeks to get that order filled. So I think we can probably head out of this village right now and maybe we'll go to the next one. Because I'm pretty sure we can't put in multiple orders. Otherwise, I would have ordered a carving axe as well as a broad axe. But I think we have to do it one at a time. Now, luckily, there are a few other villages around here, so I can pop into these. Of course, there's no guarantee this will have a blacksmith, but they may have some animals that they're willing to trade me, which, again, is going to be very important. And there might be a quest here, so let's chat with this dude. How's it going? See, this guy already knows my name, so I don't need to introduce myself, but I am still going to give him a little Christmas present here. Here you go, buddy. There's a dried elk cut, a little piece of beef jerky for you. Nice little breakfast. Oh, well, check this out. I actually was just looking through the cabins here at the village, and one of the things that caught my eye is this perfect shovel. I'm definitely going to pick that up. I don't know if this was the village I had it marked at earlier. Was it? Yeah, okay. For some reason, when I initially found the perfect shovel, and as you can see, I left a mark here on the map, and then I came back to buy it a couple days ago, and I couldn't find it. I don't know. I think maybe one of the villagers picked it up or something, but I swear it wasn't here. Now it is, though, so that's all that matters. And I'm not quite ready to finish this trade. I just want to look around, see what else they've got. One thing I'd like to do in this playthrough is get into some of the cooking recipes. So this is a modded playthrough, and there's a link to the mods down below if you're interested in adding those onto your own game. But it does add a whole bunch of different stuff. As you can see, there's quite an extensive crafting list here. But it also adds a whole bunch of cooking recipes too. So we've got baking recipes, porridge, meat, fish, vegetable, utility recipes, whatever the heck that is, sour milk, nettle cheese, muna justo. Oh man, some stuff I can't even pronounce. But the reason I'm showing that is because I'd like to pick up some salt, because I think that it would be a good idea to have some spices and stuff like this. Also, maybe some grain would be good, although I don't know exactly what kind I want. Maybe just some, I don't think it really matters that much. Okay, here. So this is like 2 bags of rye grains laying on the ground. Let's grab one of those. I'll just grab this. Ooh, that's a heavy item. One of those weighs like 20 pounds. And again, I'm not hurting for food, but I just want to have some options to make some cooking recipes later down the road. It seems like that'd be something fun. Once we get a cabin built, we'll be able to do some bacon and stuff. Oh, Canuti's here. Hey, what's up, buddy? We did a quest for him. Hello, sir. How's it going? We'll give him a little piece of meat. I have something for you, sir. Boom, there you go. Now, keep in mind, too, that option to deliver an item, quote unquote, you know what else I'm going to do real quick? Interrupt myself. I'm going to grab this nettle yarn. I think I need more of that. But you can also give them tools and stuff, which is very helpful if you hire somebody and they don't have an axe, for instance, but you want them to cut down trees. You can give them an axe, and then you can actually take it back from them, too, when they're about to leave, or you can just let them keep it as part of their payment, whatever you want to do. But One thing I am going to do is hire a couple of people while we're here. So let's start that again. I'm going to talk to this person, just rando dude, doesn't matter which one. Let's go ahead and greet him. We do know this person. I'm going to ask him if he wants, I'm going to hit H for Ask Help Company. And then I'm going to do H. I'd like to hire a helping hand. So the option is 2. And then he says, they'll either say, no, I can't leave from here. Or they'll say like him, yeah, that's fine. I'll come with you. Just be prepared to reward my days of service afterwards. But let me think if I have all the equipment I need. Oh, no, I still think I need to have some more food with me. So, in other words, he's not going to agree to join us just yet until I give him some food. He's a hungry boy. So, usually you can give him about 10 slices of jerky, and that's usually good enough. Yep. There it is. He says, I think I have everything, and now we've got ourselves a companion. Now, one thing I didn't do was look at the guy. So it's, again, I probably should have done this beforehand. So we can see, oh good, he does have an axe on him. So he'll be able to cut down trees if I order him to. He's also got a hunting bow and 12 arrows, which is pretty cool. Because if we were to like encounter an animal or a bear or something out there in the woods, I could order him to hunt it and he would shoot at it, instead of getting into melee combat with it. So that's pretty cool. Let's look at this dude right here below us. What's he got? Okay, he's only got a knife and some meat on him, so I'm not going to hire him. Like I said, I'm looking for people with axes, and unfortunately, I don't have enough axes to provide these guys with them on their own, so they have to come prepared. Now, let's see. This guy's got a spear, a knife, and that's it. No, he's got 20 arrows, 40. I must have done some trading with this guy because he's got a bunch of food on him. But, yeah, we're going to go ahead and look for another dude with an axe real quick. Okay, well, I did find another guy here, and he's already ready to go. He's got a bunch of food on him, and the reason for that is because I traded with him. So I picked up a bunch of stuff, and you can see I traded 34 elk cuts. I also traded in that fine winter elk fur. I didn't manage to find any salt, but we'll come back, or we'll go to another village for that. But I did pick up a pot. So this is a very important item for cooking too. You can't just go cooking in like a wooden bowl, obviously. That would probably burn in the fire. So you need a metal pot, which is what this is here essentially. And this will be good. As you can see, pot is a useful tool in several cookery-based activities. So there we go. Now, I didn't find any quests up here. But, oh, you know what I want to do is check and see if they have a dog for sale. I think they do. No, okay. I would love to grab one more dog before we leave the area and go back home. Okay, so this village over here has a dog for sale, which is amazing. Another thing I want to do too real quick is I'm going to come in here and delete this mark because the perfect shovel's no longer there. I bought it, so I don't need a mark at that village anymore. They don't have any animals for sale. They don't have any armor that I noticed, so it's just a bunch of random crap. Nothing needs to be marked, in other words. So we're going to leave this area. Now, since I do have some companions with me, it's important that we get home because I want to have as much time to spend with them cutting down trees and stuff as possible. In other words, if I spend all my time traveling around the map, we're going to get back home and they'll be like, oh, it's time to go now. We spent like 3 days with you traveling, so now we're leaving. And I want to avoid that. I want them mostly to be down there chopping wood for me. But like I said, I want to get at least one more dog. So let's talk to these folks. Okay, he's just telling me the weather. Again, it's important. Read what they say to you because they might offer you a quest. But a lot of times these old men will just want to talk about the weather. Just like in real life, right? All right. Well, this is actually a really good trade right here. So I like I said, I was looking for a dog. They have a small dog, which honestly, I'd rather have a big dog, but whatever. I'll take the small dogs. Hey, little dogs can be just as ferocious as big dogs, right? Anybody who's owned a Chihuahua will tell you that. But and what's interesting is all I'm trading them is a pine marten fur, which is kind of like a weasel, and a squirrel fur. So you can see that pine marten fur is pretty valuable. I don't think the squirrel fur is worth all that much. It's probably like 2 or 3 arrows worth, but that pine marten definitely did the trick. So that is a deal, sir. All right, thank you. And I'm going to zoom in. It's a kind of awkward dealing with animals when you first purchase them. For whatever reason, they don't start off leashed. So if we go to my actions and you look at my inventory, we have 2 ropes. One of them is already leashed to Sweetie because I put that on her, but they give you the rope. They just don't attach it to the animal, which I've found endlessly frustrating in this game before, especially when you've got like 12 dogs and maybe a bull or something with you and you're traveling with all these animals and you're trying to buy as many as you can get. It is such a pain in the butt to keep adding more and more animals because it becomes challenging to figure out which animal is yours, which is the new one. You got to look at them. It's a pain in the butt. So let's do that one. Okay, so this dog is now on the leash. Second thing to do is to name the animal. Okay, and I'm going to name him Tiny since this is a small dog. We've got Tiny and Sweetie here with us, and of course our 2 companions, or 3 or 4 companions. I don't remember how many I actually hired here. Let's see, I wouldn't mind going back with maybe another guy with an axe here. But, yeah, like I said, I don't want to waste too much time in the villages. Let's get back to our camp so we can start to chop down trees and start to think about building a cabin. Okay, we have returned to our base camp here. Now, this is not the location I'm going to build my cabin, but I just want to drop a few things off here so I'm not carrying around a bunch of weight. I don't need to keep these furs on me or that cooking pot just yet. Now, eventually, and I also don't really need the shovel because it's too cold to dig, but we'll be putting that shovel to good use once the ground thaws out. You can believe that. Also, I'm not going to keep all this food on me just now. So we'll drop, and the bag of grains I can get rid of. So we'll drop all that, and now I'm going to eat this roasted meat there so it doesn't go bad. Now I'm going to head over to the location I selected for our cabin, and we're going to take a look at it and have these guys start cutting down some trees for us. Okay, we are just south of our little camp that we were at, and you know what's cool? I just realized this. It's an exact diagonal shot from that base camp, so I don't need to alter my direction at all. I just, from this location, I head southeast, and it's a straight shot, which is pretty coincidental. I didn't intend to do that, but hey. So anyway, this is the area that I've chosen. I like it a lot because it's a nice little clearing here, surrounded by trees on all sides. So we've got the forest all around us, but we've got this nice open area here in the middle where we can do all kinds of building and stuff like that. And it's got access to water right here. It's kind of hard to see it because it's frozen over in ice, but there is a little hole of water right here. There's also another pond just to the south. Now, okay, so we're here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to order my peoples. I'm going to get a group command, and I'm going to ask both of our fellows here to take down some trees. So you can see they say, very well. I'll go well some big ones. And he says, very well. If they didn't have the proper tools, if they didn't have an axe, in other words, they would say, I don't have an axe. So that's why it's important to make sure you know what your companions have with them. All right, so they are off into the trees. Oh, I'm just resting too long there. You can see they've already cut down 4 logs over there. Look at them. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're hard workers, man. Didn't take them long. Now, I'm extremely tired, so we need to rest. But real quick, I'm going to continue to order these guys to cut trees down, fell trees. So I'm basically... Now, I'm not gonna let them stop. They're just gonna be cutting trees down the whole 3 days that they're with us, which is totally fine. It's just I might need to pay them a little bit extra once everything's said and done. If I want to, you don't have to pay your companions, but they won't work for you again if you do. And also, additionally, no one in their village will work for you. So if I didn't pay these guys and we went back to that same village that they were just at, and I asked another person there to work for me, they would say, no, not until you've paid such and such. So that is a good reason to pay your debts in this game for sure. But like I say, you don't absolutely have to. You can stiff your labor if you want. Okay, wow. We have been working quite a bit here at our new site. It's pretty dark, so it's hard to see around us. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, but let me order my people here. I got my dude. Let's talk to this guy. He's all over me. When they start sticking to your character like glue, that means that they don't have any work to do, so they need to be reordered. But you can see I have been moving the logs, so as they cut the trees down, I move them over to this location, kind of in the middle of our little area. It's not quite the exact middle, But it's also doesn't have to be the final position for the cabin. But what you need for a single wall piece, for a single cabin wall, you need 6 trunks or logs actually, and that's what I'm doing. I'm stacking these up basically in piles of 6 over here, and it's time consuming, it's laborious. You can see she has to stop and rest quite a bit. And temperature right now is so low that even with all of the leather we've got on, all of the fur, we've got nearly a perfect warmth protection. The only thing that's not is our hands. Nonetheless, we are still chilly, which is, that's not freezing, so she's not at risk of dying or anything from cold, but she is chilly, so that's pretty extreme cold. But the good news is we're at the point in the winter where we're basically just counting down as the days go by to warmer and warmer weather. We've kind of almost gotten to like the very depths of winter. I mean, we're pretty much there right now. So let me grab my dude here. And they've already spoken to me a couple of times. Your companions will kind of give you an update. They'll come up to you and say, hey, it's been a few days. I'll only be working with you for 2 more days or 1 more day. So they give you little updates as to their time left. And right now we've got about 2 days left with these gentlemen. And it's probably not necessarily going to be enough. In other words, I'll still need to go back up north and hire some more villagers to help us cut down a few more trees, which isn't a big deal. I didn't want to go overboard and hire like 10 guys all at once. You could, certainly, and it's not the end of the world. But like I say, you got to sort through them and figure out which ones actually have the right tools and stuff. But let's grab these guys. And, I've mentioned this before, but so much of this game, just like Dwarf Fortress, is all about muscle memory and starting to get down the hotkeys. So it is mainly controlled by the keyboard, too, just like Dwarf Fortress. So it's really, really incumbent on you to kind of memorize these hotkeys. If you want to make the game smooth, if you want to be looking down at your keyboard constantly too, that's your choice. But I highly recommend getting those keys memorized. And of course, I say that I have a lot of the keys memorized personally, but not every one of them. Sometimes I have to look, or I might forget a command. And if you do, you can hit the question mark. So just hold Shift and hit the question mark on the keyboard, and it'll bring up this screen. Basically gives you a rundown of every key in the game and what it does, the combinations. So you can see it's pretty extensive. It's definitely easier to control than Dwarf Fortress is. I don't know if anybody out there, crosses over their interest with Unreal World and Dwarf Fortress, but if you are a veteran of the DF game, you'll know that one is extremely difficult to get a hang of. But anyway, I'm going to continue doing this, and maybe once the sun comes up, I'll kind of show you all the logs we've got accumulated. Okay, well, it is now noon, so the sun is up. You can see it's snowing still. It's pretty heavy snow, but this is what I've accumulated so far. So we've got a couple of 6 piles, some tree trunks here. They're kind of all spread out because at nighttime it's a little bit tricky to figure out where you're going. But nonetheless, if I zoom out here, you can see all the logs that these guys have been chopping down. So they're very hard workers, no doubt about it. There's a ton of logs here. In fact, earlier what I was saying, oh, he's about to talk to me. Okay, I'll be working for you a day or more. I expect you to hand this out. Let's settle what I have is just a few more things to weigh to make me happy. So basically, he's saying, hey, why don't you pay me now? I'm still going to work for you for a day or so, but why don't we settle this now? I say no to that because the more work we have these guys do, the more deficit we incur. So if I give him 10 cuts of meat now and I have him cut down, a dozen more trees, he's going to want more meat at the end of this. So I'm just going to wait. And again, it's not a big deal. It's not going to piss him off or anything. I'll just wait till the end. But earlier I had said that we might have to get some more labor for cutting trees, but honestly, these two dudes have done a fantastic job. Now, I will still probably hire some labor, but it will be strictly to carve trunks into logs. So you can see this option just below felling trees. So once you've got the tree knocked down, before you can turn it into a cabin, you got to turn those into logs, which just means stripping the branches and the bark off of it and stuff, making it nice and clean. And that is something the NPCs can do for you as well. So now, if you do that kind of a thing, it's very important to make sure you're giving that order close to the tree trunks that you want him to turn into logs. So in other words, I should give him that kind of an order right down here next to my little piles that I've accumulated. So I'll have him just do this for display purposes here, because we actually do have a lot of trunks. And as you can see, he kind of walks over to this area. I'll zoom in a little bit. You can see him. So he's working there. Now, if I had given him that order while I was closer to the tree line, he probably would have walked up here and actually carved up these things, which isn't the end of the world. It's just I'd rather have him stay focused and keep all my logs sorted out down here. Just makes your life a little bit easier when you don't have to go search in the woods for all the different logs they've carved up for you. All right, and same thing with this guy. He's happy to work for me and for another day, but he wants more food. Well, you're just gonna have to wait, buddy. In fact, I think in a hour or so, or probably right now, we're gonna have to go back to our camp to get the food, because the only food I've got on me is in my bag, which I can't really give them. I mean, I guess I could, but I'm not going to, because it would be way overpaying them. So what I'm going to do now real quick, we're going to leave the dogs here because, like I said, it's not that far. It's just a straight diagonal shot right to, there it is. Look at that. Oh, so the companions did come with me, which is good. They'll keep me safe as we travel. But like I said, I just need to grab some food and stuff for these guys. And let's pick up a little bit from our cabin. Getting kind of low here. I've got 139 there. I've got 51 more dried cuts, but if we look real quick at these piles, I've got 2 piles being prepared. This one right here is actually going to be ready in 2 days, and there's over 200 cuts of elk at that location. And right where these 2 guys are standing, there's 450 cuts of elk right here. That'll be done in about 18 days. This is the stack we did. We have, it's essentially 2 full-grown elks right here. So that was a massive hunt, and I think it was just was it not the last episode, but the one before it? Well, anyway, if you missed that, check out the link in the description to the playlist, because it was a pretty amazing hunt, if I do say so myself. All right, well, he's about to talk to me again here. It is early evening. I just woke up. We've got our sleep schedule all messed up, but okay, so he says it's time for him to go back, and he'd like us to pay him a little bit more. The other guy's also telling me the same thing. So they're not going to leave the area immediately. They give you a few turns here to actually talk to them. And now I'm going to go in to deliver an item, just like we did at the start where I was giving out gifts. This time I'm just going to give we'll try 10, see what he says. Okay, just a few more things to make him happy. So he wants some more meat. Okay, let's try this. 10 more. All right, he's going to want a lot, obviously. We put him to a lot of work, so it's not a surprise that they're demanding a whole bunch of stuff, but as you can see, I am doing it in 10 increments, basically, so that I don't end up overpaying him. But, man, oh, man, this guy's going to take, he's going to take all my meat. Okay, there we go. Better late than never. Good, good, good. So he's okay. Now I need to talk to this one here. All right, let's deliver an item for him. I have something for you. All right, and I'll go through, again, 10 stacks at a time. Okay, well, there he is. He's happy now. Better late than never, he says. And those 2 literally just wiped me out. They took that entire stack of what was it, like 180 cuts. So it was an expensive little hire operation there, but having that extra labor really, really did make a difference. As we already looked, I actually did have them spend some time cutting these all into logs too. So there's a few tree trunks left, but it's not a big deal. Like I said, we'll go back to those villages and we'll hire some more dudes, but these guys are now on their own. They're no longer our companions. Sometimes they'll stick around the area for a little while, but usually they just head off and go back to their village there safely. So that's going to do it for today's episode, guys. It's been a pretty laborious episode, but trust me, we've got a whole lot more work to do on this cabin too. So I hope you guys will tune in for the next couple episodes, because it's going to be a lot of fun getting this thing constructed. And of course, we're going to continue on with our questing and everything else. So hit that like button for me if you're enjoying the series, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, and I will see you all on the next one.